Greetings and metal blessings to people who have got attention spans of more than 3 seconds. So this is 4 days in and I've drawn Rob Halford. And I've drawn Rob Halford. And I've drawn Rob Halford. If you are a Judas Priest fan, I've drawn Judas Priest. Now, just let me show you something. This is a UK penny, and this is the size of the portrait. Same here. So let's just pull that back. There we go. That is the size of the portrait. Now, I am certain that I will finish this tomorrow, which is Friday. But for one thing, I've sort of run out of pencils. Yeah, it's a thing. Now, the thing about running out of pencils, if you live near an art shop like I used to, there used to be an art shop 5 miles away, and it's a bus ride. That's it. Go on the bus, go to the art shop, pick up the things, come home, and possibly draw for the afternoon. That place closed decades ago. But there was another art shop 13.5 miles away. Fair enough, go to that art shop. That one closed quite a few years ago. About 10 years ago or something, it closed. So the only option I've got is to go to the last remaining art shop in the area, which is 22 miles away. You see where I've got a problem with this, and where I live. The one art shop that I need to go to, I mean, look at the size of that pencil. I need more pencils. But the one art shop that I've got to go to is 22 miles away on a bus that takes 2 hours. That's 2 hours there and 2 hours back. And they have now come up with a wonderful idea where if you aren't on the bus by, say, I think about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, you have to bus hop from another area to get to where I live. With no car, the last time that I tried it, I didn't get home until about 8 o'clock after being out from 10 o'clock in the morning. I will have to go out tomorrow. I was hoping that I could finish this, or at the very least go and see a film. I've run out of pencils. I need to go on a pencil run. And I'm literally going to have to spend about 80 quid on pencils. Let me just show you something. So that is the size of the pencil that I'm working with. They're about £4 plus. When they burn down to this, it's really difficult to hold. It's sort of like dealing with dog ends from cigarettes. There's a point where you just have to throw it away. So I've hit that point where I've got to go out to get pencils, and it's a long trip, and I wish I hadn't got to do it. But you get these people who have said to me, well, why don't you just get it from the works, or why don't you just order them online? Well, ordering them online, and I will get to another point on this, I'm just ranting about this. Ordering them online, I have a marble floor. So if something like this falls down on the marble floor, it breaks the graphite. And it is graphite, it's not lead, it's hardened clay. Different burnt clay. People think that it's lead, it's not. It's graphite, it's clay. So you'd end up with spending quite a lot of money on pencils, and it'd be sharpen, break, sharpen, break, sharpen, break, and next thing you know, you've wasted your money. Or you go and get the cheap rubbish from shops, and I can guarantee people have said to me, a bad workman blames his tools. Well, if you are using a low-grade pencil, you have got grit in it because it hasn't been blended. It's powdered clay that has been glued, and the finer the powder, the finer the result. So this is why I use one specific brand and one specific type of paper. You know where you are with it. But if you use a cheap piece of tat, it will reflect on your artwork and it will make the artwork look worse. So you can say a bad workman rented lips. You can say that a bad workman blames his tools, but a good one can as well. Now I'll go on to another subject, and that is, let's just talk about music in general. I am a rock fan, but I like other genres. I like rock and blues, but I really like other genres of music. I grew up in the 70s and taught myself to do this, but during that time you'd got all the 70s bands, the glam rock era, you've got soul and disco, and it rubbed off on me. So I can quite happily play Judas Priest as well as Olivia Newton-John. Doesn't bother me. It's just I like different genres. Now that comes from, as I said, growing up with multiple genres. If you think of it like going into an ice cream parlour, and back then you'd have 60 plus types of flavour. Let's say that this ice cream parlour, this imaginary ice cream parlour, has 60 flavours in 1973. And you go in and you just go, well, I want to try this one. I want to try this strawberry one, and there's a pineapple there, and there's mint, and there's you can get, I can pull any flavour, but you'll have variety. That's what music was back then. You had variety. All of these bands were releasing on pretty much steady ground since the 60s, 50s, 60s really. And they were releasing music. So the charts were full of anything really. You could have novelty songs, you could have heavy rock, you could have soul, disco, everything in between. Now we'll cut to today. And this is one of the reasons, these are the reasons that I don't stream music. My music is on CD and vinyl. I was buying vinyl when it wasn't considered popular. Right, let's just pull back to change the image. I was buying vinyl when it wasn't considered popular, and people were actually saying, well, you buy that stuff for, it scratches. It sounds better. And it literally does sound better. I like the sound of vinyl. There's a difference, there's a warmth. But when you are listening to streaming, it is condensed. So you don't get all the song. You'll get the vocals, you'll get melody, but you don't get the little things in between. Like, let's say somebody hits a string wrong, or you can hear the engine of a motorbike in a rock song revving up, and you can tell what engine it is, what motorbike it is. It's that. Now, streaming focuses your mind to, let's say this is the pencil. This is your streaming channel. And you start off streaming and you are going along this pencil, and that is all you're hearing. Because the streaming platform, the algorithm, is focusing your attention on one thing. It is not playing other music to you. It might play music of a similar genre or a similar thing, but then again, it might chuck an AI thing at you. And you go, what's this band? Oh, it's imaginary. Now, when I'm buying CDs and vinyl, I am buying music from years before the computer was around, the computer was doing this. And I make a point of that. Now, during the 80s, the late 80s, I was listening to a lot of rock music, but the BBC and their flagship programme Top of the Pops and their Saturday morning shows were throwing Pete Waterman songs at me. Nothing against them. They've got a melody, but you're only sampling one flavour, one sound. Whether that is Kylie or Jason or whatever, it is one sound and it sounds the same. And the music that you're playing always sounds the same because it's coming from the same source. Suddenly, your ice cream parlour has lost a load of flavours. See where I'm getting at? Now, it was about 1992 that we'd already had a lot of this music that I don't like, the acid stuff, the club music and those kind of the rap songs and those kind of things, and I just genuinely don't like them. I haven't got an ear for them. I don't like them. That's nothing against people who do. I just don't like them. I like rock, metal, blues. I'm that kind of person. But I was watching Top of the Pops, and there was music on there which was I don't like it, mute. I don't like it, mute. And I kept doing that through the entire programme. And it took about a month, 3 weeks, a month, and I just thought, I've had enough of this. I'm not watching the programme, I'm muting through it. And I never did do Britpop and that kind of stuff, and I walked away from chart music. And I didn't play chart music for years. I just had enough. I was there waiting for this music to come in. Now, in America, this was different. There were rock songs in America that we weren't getting over here. That isn't just grunge, because I'm not really a grunge fan. But there were rock songs, because I was watching Sky at the time, and I had MTV on and those kind of things. And there was music that I liked that wasn't in the charts. Again, your ice cream parlour has lost a few flavours. And then some new flavours came in with the Spice Girls and Oasis and Blur, and I thought, I really, really don't like this. And then I stopped listening to chart music. Status Quo were in a battle with BBC over Radio 1 because they weren't playing their music. And Radio 1 won. And I just said, that's it, I can't do it anymore. So I just play what I like. I play the music that I like, and that's it. And I stick in not just a certain genre, but a certain year, certain years and decades. Then we get to what is around now. And I'm now buying music from certain years and certainly not doing streaming, because I'm supporting the acts that they were around before all this happened. So I know that when I buy a Judas Priest album, this has been created by humans, and they have played their own instruments. And I just don't deal with modern tech. Yes, I am putting this on to try and get noticed, but that's all there is. I'm just putting it on and hoping. But I'm just, whoever's watching this right now, I want you to go out and I want you to have a look in a chain record shop. I think you know which one I'm on about if you live in the UK, because it's the only one. But have a look. And I buy music from there very regularly. But don't go to an independent, go to a chain record shop. I want you to look for specific bands to see if you can find them. And I'm going to name some bands that you have possibly never heard of. Some of you will have done. And I'm not on about Judas Priest, because you can get a lot of Judas Priest albums in there. But Foghat, Blackfoot, The Electric Prunes. There, that's confused you, hasn't it? I bet that has really confused you. But let's go for another one. Quicksilver Messenger Service. These are real bands, but you don't hear them. But I want you to have a listen to the Electric Prunes' I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night. It's an awesome song that just doesn't get played. And that's the thing, some of these songs are going to be forgotten. If we're not careful, they are going to be forgotten. And I don't want to see that. And it certainly won't be forgotten from me. But I'm also in a situation where, let's talk about Ozzy. That Ozzy is not here anymore, and I have all his studio albums. There's a couple of things that I've got to get, but I've got the majority of his studio albums. I've got all of them. So when I go to I've got all of Creedence Clearwater Revival songs as well, all their studio albums. So when I go to there to buy a record, it hurts when I have to skip past Ozzy because I've got all of the albums. So if we collect them, which we should do, there is a point where once the act has died, once they've stopped making music, their new music dries up, and the company that creates these looks at the output and goes, well, Ozzy is still popular, but he's not as popular as he was, specifically because we bought all the music. We're going to finish off showing some of his music, having a lot of his music around. And then it disappears. And you can have it on Spotify or wherever on your streaming platform, but I guarantee it will not sound the same as listening to it on vinyl, listening to it on CD, even listening to it on tape. There is something magical about listening to it in a physical medium that you just can't get when you are listening to it in any other format. You need to support physical formats. Because without you supporting physical formats, it goes. And the shops die with it. And suddenly, all of this amazing music that is all over the place from decades past, it's gone. It's gone and it will never come back. Let me just show you something before I finish. I'll have to put this down. So you'll have a close-up of black. Well, that. I'm just going to show you something. Okay, I'm back. Now, this is something special. This is called nuggets. Come on, focus. Focus. There we go, focus. Now, this is called nuggets. This is the special 50th anniversary edition on vinyl. And what they did was they went around, it was the 60s, and they went around areas and found bands that were, they couldn't afford to pay for a single or an album. And this guy created this set of albums to promote them. And what you get in this special, it's a lovely set, isn't it? But what you get in this special, just take the slipcase out, is this, which will tell you about the birth of Nuggets and the birth of the record series. You get a poster. This is a special disc which has extracts that weren't on the albums, and then that is the first album, double album, and then that is the second album. So it was so popular they did 2 albums. And you get some very strange, unknown songs on here, but they are brilliant. Things like Baby Please Don't Go, Sugar and Spice, but it's not the original Sugar and Spice. Hey Joe, but it's not the Jimi Hendrix one. Pushing Too Hard's The Seeds. Now you should know that if you know anything with 60s music, 60s 60s counterculture. I Had Too Much to Dream last night, The Electric Prunes, and it's just a really, really great album. And there's 2 copies plus this extra, and seriously, if you can find it, go for it, because it will open up a world that you may not know. It's not metal, but some of the songs are an origin of metal and rock. And without this and the bands that came before it, we wouldn't have them. But we need these back, and we need to support these people. That's one of the reasons I'm doing it. It's not the main reason, but it's one of the reasons. Anyway, I've gone on for too long again, and I've got to stop drawing because my pencils are dead. So that's where I am at the moment with Rob Halford, and it'll be finished next week. It would have been finished tomorrow, but I've got to go on a pencil hunt. Thanks for watching. Thanks for having more than 3 seconds attention span. And metal blessings. Peace.